Welcome on in to 7 Mountain Sports On Demand. I am your host, Kyle. We are breaking down the latest and greatest going on all around the NBA today as free agency has gone on. We've gone through free agency through the past few days. We've had, of course, the NBA draft the week prior. So a lot of NBA news going on here. And I want to bring on a special guest, someone who knows a little bit about the NBA, more than my brain does. We'll get to who this person is sitting next to me here if you're watching the visual thing in a second. But you can, of course, find 7 Mountain Sports On Demand on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on TikTok now as well at 7 Mountain Sports. Listen live wherever you get your podcasts from, like the Radio Novo app. And we'll break down all things NBA with my special guest coming up in just a second. And now it is time to break down the NBA action. Sitting to my left right now, making your official 7 Mountains media debut, I guess.
Yes,
You've been
sir.
On the airwaves before.
No, it's an honor. I'm on camera now.
You are on camera. You're camera official, even though we talk for a living. Mr. Intern David Young. How you doing, sir?
Good. Excited to be here. Excited to talk some free agency.
So you are a big basketball guy.
Yeah.
You're a big basketball head.
Oh, yeah.
So NBA free agency has been going on for the past few days. Of course, it all kicked off on Monday itself on the 30th and then started off on July 1st and has been kind of blasting through our brains the past few days. So right now, day number, 4 free agency?
Yeah, I think 4.
Who is your winner for the NBA free agency right now?
My biggest winner right now is the Denver Nuggets.
The Denver Nuggets.
Why
would that be?
It all started when they fired Calvin Booth. It was long overdue. He decided to blow up an entire championship core for no reason.
Oh, you're not pulling punches.
No. That was where it's all started at the end of the day. But then at first move that I really liked was the Cam Johnson trade. Michael Porter Jr. just kind of ran out. His time ran out in Denver. And Cam Johnson is a significant upgrade as well.
They traded Michael Porter Jr. and a 2032 first unprotected for Cam Johnson.
Significant upgrade, not just as a player, but as a fit next to Jokic. He's a 3-and-D guy. Michael Porter Jr. not so much of a 3-and-D guy himself. But I really like the fit next to Jamal Murray and Jokic for Cam Johnson. And then they go back and they kind of undo Calvin Booth's mistake. They bring back Bruce Brown, who not only is a fan favorite there in Denver, was a huge part of that championship team as well. And then their two biggest needs, shooting and big man depth, were addressed. They traded Dario Saric to bring in Jonas Valanciunas, which is huge. I mean, Dario Saric wasn't even getting minutes on that team, and they bring in a good centerpiece. And then Tim Hardaway Jr. adds shooting as well. I really like what the Nuggets are doing with addressing their needs and kind of not letting no one's really safe with the Porter Jr. deal. That
they have. I still wonder if there are issues going forward next season when it comes to playing the youth. I know there is no more Michael Malone in Denver, which is a part of that problem because he did not like playing the kids. But at the same time, will we see more Julian Strawther, more Jalen Pickett? Will we see more of these guys playing minutes?
Yeah.
Because if they play more, it'll alleviate the stress on the Jamal Murrays of the world. Their lineup right now, starting lineup would be what? Jamal Murray, you've got Aaron Gordon, Jokic, Cam Johnson,
probably Bruce Brown
Brown alongside them, which is a good starting lineup.
But yeah, it's very solid. I do want to definitely see more Julian Strawther minutes. We saw it in the Thunder series in I think it was Game 5. He just went crazy off the bench, and Michael Malone was probably not too happy about his young guys playing well, but they do have some decent young guys. I mean, you mentioned Pickett and we just mentioned him, Pickett and Julian Strawther, and then Hunter Tyson as well. They've got some young guys that can definitely get some minutes for this team.
I'm looking forward to Zeke Naji dominance.
Oh,
is he still in the Nuggets? Is he still there somewhere?
Yeah, he's still there.
Well, he might be the guy. Looking forward to this team. Of course, you mentioned Jonas Valanciunas there on the bench as well. Christian Brown we didn't mention. Yeah. He's playing a lot more.
Watson.
Deron Holmes should be back from his Achilles tear after tearing it before the season began last year. So he should play a bit more for them as well at that power forward center position. So they've got a lot of guys. So that's your big winner so far. It's a strong choice. I will give you that, sir. I will give you that. For me, looking around the league, I know the Hawks are the easy one to go with. I think everyone feels they're a winner because they improved, got better, didn't lose a lot, kind of just overall got what they needed to in terms of free agency. When I'm also looking at winners, I'm looking at especially the Rockets. We all know. I think the Spurs are my winner so far, and you might say they've done almost nothing. Why? They traded Sandro Mamukelashvili for Luke Cornett, which is the only thing they did. But I liked that move. I think Luke Cornett is going to fit really well. He adds center depth alongside, of course, Victor Wembanyama. But they haven't done anything reckless.
Yeah.
They went and got Dylan Harper in the draft. They went and got Carter Bryant, I believe, as well. So they got guys that are going to help their team going forward. But they did not go and make the big trades. Like
they
everyone
didn't
was
mess
like,
up their
oh,
timeline.
yes.
Yeah, and that's big.
They should go and trade for Giannis. They should go and trade for insert player here. They didn't do either of that. They've held firm. Could they trade for Giannis after noon on July 3rd? There's a chance.
Sure.
There's always a chance Giannis is like, I'm out of here. Peace, Miles Turner. But they haven't done that move. They are standing firm. They're keeping their timeline. As you mentioned, Luke Cornett fits into the timeline. He's an NBA champion. He will help them going forward. And not on a bad deal. 4 years, $41 million, I believe, or 3 years, $41. Like, that's not a crazy price to pay for Luke Cornett.
No.
And if you add center depth, he's not a big contract on your books. The question now is, does De'Aaron Fox exist after a year on the Spurs?
Yeah.
That's the question I'm asking myself at this point. But I think the Spurs, my winner so far, and flipping it to the other side of things, to the losers. Of course, we know the Lakers are a loser. We know that. A lot of losers. We're not going to get into them right now. A loser for me, what is Philadelphia doing? Do we know?
No one knows.
Do we
No
know
one
if they're
knows.
going to be like healthy at all?
Not any clue.
They were like, oh, we're going to have a big offseason. They brought back Eric Gordon, brought back Justin Edwards, and got in Trendon Watford.
Yeah.
Those are the big pieces.
And lost Yabusele, who's arguably better than Trendon
One of their
Watford
best players
by a lot.
last
Yeah,
season.
he was really good when they weren't healthy. He was a good
Lost
good
them
kind
up
of fill-in
I-95
piece.
to
Yeah.
the Knicks. But, like, them, loser, there were a lot of losers.
Yeah,
this
a lot of
offseason.
teams just doing some weird stuff.
The Kings paid Dennis Schroeder 3 years and $45 million for what reason exactly?
The Kings were my loser as well. I don't understand what direction this front office thinks that they're going to take. I mean, not only that, but 5 months after you trade 2 second-round picks for Jonas Valanciunas, you move him for Dario Saric.
This team had Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
And now they've got the former Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, literally. I mean, literally.
That's where they're at.
They are in no man's land. They are where the Wizards have been for the last 15 years before the last two. But they're in that area of they're probably going to lose in the play-in game every year, and they're not going to have a top 3 pick. They're just in that no man's land of too good to lose a bunch of games and then too bad to compete for even a playoff, like let alone make the playoffs, but definitely not win a playoff series.
What do you do if you're Domantas Sabonis? Where a couple years ago the Kings were this fun team, light the beam. They were having fun with Mike Brown, 3 seed. They were cool. They were fun. They were a De'Aaron Fox finger away, basically, from being in the second round of the playoffs. They felt good, and now Sabonis is there with DeRozan and Levine and Monk and Schroeder and Saric, and you're like, why? Like, the only player who's got any sort of, like, possible positives going forward to him, you'd have Keegan Murray.
Yeah.
I guess Keon Ellis has shown flashes here and there. They drafted Maxime Renaud and Dylan Cardwell and a couple other guys, but, like...
Yeah, the issue is they have those guys like Monk and Zach LaVine that stop guys like Devin Carter and Keon Ellis from getting key minutes. And if I'm the Kings, I want to see what those 3 can do, Keegan Murray, Carter, and Ellis. And I don't need to be good. I'll take a year to be terrible. It's fine. But you give $15 million a year to Dennis Schroeder, who at best turns you into a 10 seed, 9 seed. I just don't understand what they're trying to do.
Dennis Schroeder, by the way, has the most up and down value of any player in the NBA. He either gets $2 million or $15 million. There's no middle ground there.
Yeah, no.
So Kings a loser this I guess cycle. Other losers, Brooklyn, no one knows what they're doing anymore. I've lost track of it at this point.
It's really tough to go 0 for 5 on 5 first-round picks. It's really, really hard to do.
The Bulls are a loser because why wouldn't they be at this point?
I mean, trading Lonzo for Isaac Okoro.
What does that get you? A second Patrick Williams, who's already not good?
And at the deadline, they were offered a first-round pick for him. And my bad that I want to see Lonzo play for the Wizards. My bad, but they should have accepted that trade.
Also, are they going to sign Josh Giddey?
I don't know, because Josh
no one
Giddey,
knows.
like,
he's a restricted free agent
and
still.
he was really, really good for them. Obviously didn't work out in OKC, but for the Bulls, he was playing good basketball.
So what are they going to do? Of course, the Bucks, I think, are losers because of just the absurdity. We'll get to the Bucks in a second. Yeah. Outside of them, I don't really know in the East anyone's had a bad offseason. In the West, you've got Portland and Utah and whomever else doing things. Portland, I guess, is buying into being a good team with Drew Holiday.
Yeah, but weird.
They're not a good team.
They're not a good team.
You've got alongside them the Lakers we've mentioned. The Suns have 1 million shooting guards and no one to play point guard.
Not a
hashtag
soul.
Bring back Chris Paul.
Oh yeah. Warriors lose Kevon Looney. They have Trace Jackson Davis as center right now. That's not good.
Not good.
That's not what you want.
Maybe they've signed Dame Lillard to a minimum, but again,
yeah.
And also, are the Pelicans trying?
Do they think they're good? I don't know. It's mind blowing.
There's a lot of this happening.
There's a lot of teams just not knowing where they're at because they not only did they move their own unprotected first round pick, but that could also turn into the Bucks. And if they end up trading Giannis, they're going to be terrible.
And the problem is all the teams that think they're good are in the West.
Yeah, which is.
And the place to be good is the East. Because the East has nobody. Orlando might be an incredible team.
Yeah, Atlanta might be a top 3 seed next year just with all the injuries and everything. It's unbelievable.
Mind boggled so far. Yeah. And speaking of mind boggling, I guess we'll get to the numbers players have received so far in free agency. Of course, the big number, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the new NBA champion, MVP, finals MVP, signed a 4-year, $285 million contract, getting $71.25 million average annual value-wise. He is now the highest paid player in American professional sports on a year-by-year basis. And that includes Shohei Ohtani, who's getting $70 million. He's getting $71.25.
He's making more money than the entire Miami Marlins. It's ridiculous.
The Marlins are a joke.
Yeah.
But you've got him signing, of course, back with Oklahoma City. We'll see what they do with Chet and J-Dub going forward. They could sign their new contracts, I believe, in a couple days. They're up for extensions. The other numbers, of course, Miles Turner, 4 years, $107 million, which I guess we'll talk about. You're sitting here as the Pacers, and you don't think you're going to get outbid for Miles Turner because you don't see the Bucks doing what they did with Damian Lillard. And now they just lose their center, and they don't have anyone to replace him.
To their biggest rival as well.
To their biggest rival. They have no one to replace him. They don't have the finances to replace him because they can't go out and sign somebody for $25 million because Naz Reid reset the market.
Yeah. I don't
know. I don't know what they're going to do.
It's pretty shocking, to be honest, because you can't run Pascal Siakam at the 5. They're going to have to make a trade, but I don't even know what kind of assets they have or who's available. At the same time, they're in a really, really interesting spot, especially with Tyrese not playing for most likely all of next year.
Maybe Ben Mathurin is the guy you offload because you didn't really play too much of a role later down the line in the series, and you try and go more into the Ben Shepherd, Jarris Walker grouping. But
you're looking at Tony Bradley as your starting center right now. That's really, really, really not what you want at all.
I don't want Tony Bradley and Isaiah Jackson as my starting centers personally.
No, not at all.
So the pair of them are their starting centers, and we'll break down more of the teams that we haven't discussed yet so far coming up after a quick break because, spoilers, my brain is broken. I think yours is as well, David.
Oh, yeah. Teams are blowing my mind right now.
There are a lot of podcasts, a lot of social media platforms, a lot of sports games going on all throughout Happy Valley. And the best place to find all of those details and information is on our website, 7mmsports.com. Over there, you can find the full schedule of all the sports going on here in Seven Mountains Media and Seven Mountains Sports. You also can find the latest episodes of all of our podcasts, Sports Talk with Steve Jones, Scorebook Stories, and more. For all those details and information, head over again to our website, 7mmsports.com. And now we're going the ESPN route here. The teams that, make broadcasters money, the Knicks, the Lakers. The Knicks have signed Jordan Clarkson. They have signed Gershon Yabusele to deals. Of course, Clarkson got bought out by the Jazz. Yabusele, 2 years, 12 from the Sixers. And then they made the big signing of Mike Brown as their new head coach. And I'm a Knicks fan. People know I'm a Knicks fan from my rants with Steve Jones every single week. I don't know what this does for the Knicks except give them a different voice than Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, that is not a bad thing. Your starters aren't going to be playing 43 minutes a game now.
Mikal Bridges should be happy.
Yeah, he'll be thrilled. I was considering putting the Knicks as my winner because I really, really like what they're doing. They needed depth badly. You saw it in the playoffs. I mean,
and Clarkson and Yabusele shoot threes, so it should help.
Not that Thibodeau allowed depth, but they needed some depth badly. They add some scoring off the bench, which is big. And I honestly, I was in the camp of Mike Brown should have never even been fired from the Kings in the first place.
The Kings continue to make dumb decisions. They fired Michael Malone, and then he became Coach of the Year, NBA champion. They fired Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Could he win a title with the Knicks? I hope so.
I think he definitely can, and I think this is a better hire than Michael Malone would have been for the Knicks as well. I think Michael Malone might just be a reskin of Tom Thibodeau at the end of the day. But Mike Brown is a guy that has had teams energized before. I mean, we mentioned earlier, the Light the Beam Kings were one of my favorite teams to watch in recent memory, and if he can bring that energy to New York, a team that already. I mean, you saw the streets after those playoff wins, a city that already loves their team. If they can add that Mike Brown energy, I think this Knicks team could be really, really special.
They could be really special. The question is, will they be special? And as a Knicks fan, we're not going to be. But a team that also isn't going to be, thankfully, is the Lakers. Because they decided, instead of going and getting Brook Lopez or Miles Turner off the bat in the free agency, they're like, our big signing, Jake LaRavia.
Jake LaRavia.
You know,
Jake
that
LaRavia.
guy. 2 years, $12 million for Jake LaRavia for the Lakers. They, because of that, then couldn't sign Dorian Finney-Smith, who then joined the Rockets in their incredible offseason so far.
Going crazy, but that was also the Lakers' only 3-and-D player on their entire roster. In the NBA in 2025, there's a team without a single 3-and-D player on their roster besides arguably 40-year-old LeBron James.
The Lakers are sitting here. Their starting lineup is Alex Caruso. Who else is going to start at guard for them, do you think? Would it alongside Caruso? Or not Caruso. They have Reeves. Austin Reeves. They have LeBron. Who's going to start with them before we get to the center?
Luka, LeBron.
Reeves, LeBron.
Maybe
I
they
guess
just throw Rui in there at the
Rui
four.
Hachimura. So who's the best defensive guy there? Rui? Maybe? Because Luka's not playing defense.
No.
LeBron's not going to play great defense.
No.
I know Reeves ain't playing great defense. So Rui's your best defender because your center's DeAndre Ayton. On a 2-year, whatever $1 million deal.
Who not only is not a good defender, but hasn't tried playing NBA basketball in 3 years. He missed a game because of icy roads. That can't.
He slept on an air mattress for 2 months in Portland because he thought, I'm going to get bought out. And for 2 months was like, air mattress. Great idea. And you make $30 million a year. Get a mattress for $100, $200.
Yeah, seriously. It's not like mattresses are this unacquirable thing, but
I guarantee you there's a mattress partner for the Blazers. They could have gotten him a cheap one.
100%. And then he gets outplayed consistently by a rookie in Donovan Clingan, who's a great player, but should not be outplaying a $30 million player. And yeah, this is just I just think this is not the kind of center that the Lakers needed at all. A guy with effort problems.
DeAndre Ayton has effort problems, isn't great on defense, and also is not a rim runner. He notably does not like running to the rim. He wants the ball in his hands and his back to the basket and to face up and have that type of game. That was his problem in Phoenix. That's why he wanted out. Is because he wanted the ball in his hands.
Yeah, and now he's on his best day, the 4th best offensive player on the Lakers. On
4th
his best
day. On his best day.
On
that roster, which Luka's not giving the ball up. LeBron's not going to give him the ball. Reeves isn't going to give him the ball.
No, it's an unbelievable fit. I'm honestly I know, obviously I'm a Wizards fan. I know we're not gonna. I don't.
Have the Wizards signed anybody in free agency? Have they done anything?
Not a soul.
Got
actually.
It. Cool.
I have not changed our roster. It's awesome.
Nope.
But obviously I know we're not gonna compete. So I kind of just wanted to see LeBron get one more. So as a guy that wanted to see LeBron get one more, I wanted Nick Claxton to be the move that the Lakers did. That
makes sense.
Obvious choice. Great defender. Rim runner, like you mentioned, lob threat, rim protector, all of it. He checks off all the boxes that the Lakers need. They don't need a guy that demands the ball. They don't need that at all. It blows my mind. I think by midway through the season, we're going to see Jackson Hayes getting more minutes than DeAndre Ayton just because of how that fit works. And
we are in a timeline where Jackson Hayes is the starting center for the Lakers. And it's because they signed DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And DeAndre Ayton will has put up numbers in the past, but he doesn't. It's like that thing that they said about Andre Drummond back in the day. If he can have 30 and 20 and not affect a game at all, that's how I feel about DeAndre.
20 and 15 and doesn't do anything.
Does not affect the win in any way. Shape,
at least
or form.
Drummond could rebound really, really well.
Yeah.
Ayton can't rebound really, really well.
No, he's a solid rebounder. He'll get you 10, but it's mind blowing, to be honest.
It is mind blowing, and I guess we'll go to a positive team in the West now. Of course, one of the big winners we haven't discussed so far, the Rockets. They trade for Kevin Durant. They get rid of Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green in the trade, plus a bunch of draft assets. They end up getting, so far in free agency, they bring back Jayshawn Tate, Aaron Holiday, Jeff Green, and Fred VanVleet on an incredible deal, 2 years, $50 for him. Instead of paying him 40-something on a team option this year, they got 2 years, $50 million. They split it over 2. Great contract.
Don't have to worry about him next year now at all either.
Set for next year. They bring in Clint Capella, 3 years, $21.5 million, giving cover for Steven Adams. It means they can play the two bigs. They have a good rim runner. He's not the best defender, but they're not worried about him on defense because they have incredible defense across the board. And speaking of defense, they then bring in the aforementioned Dorian Finney-Smith. 4 years, $53 million. A great signing for them. He adds to that. There's a unit they could play where it's the worst defender on the floor is, I don't know, Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
There's a real chance they do.
It's
they do Thompson, Finney-Smith. You've got KD. You've got
Tari
Eason. And then you put, I guess, Steven Adams in there.
Yeah.
And that's defensively, KD's
I don't know
how
you score on that. I don't know. And KD's an unbelievable defender
He's
as well.
7 foot. He's long.
They have, if you're assuming that VanVleet, Amen Thompson, KD, and Sengun are going to start, that power forward spot, you look at Jabari Smith, who signed an extension. I love that extension.
5 years, 120.
Maybe now it looks a little steep, but I think in 3 to 4 years, it's going to be unbelievable that he's making $25 million. And then, so you're choosing between Dorian Finney-Smith, Jabari Smith, and Tari Eason for that power forward spot. Then you bring 2 of those off the bench. You still have the number 3 overall pick
Reed Shepherd's there.
Reed Shepherd.
He's going to play.
Yeah.
He's their backup point guard. He's going to play this year.
Their depth is unreal. Their starting lineup's ridiculous. I think people tend to forget how good Sengun is at basketball because obviously Amen Thompson got a lot of the hype this year, and obviously that was deserved. Amen Thompson's unbelievable, but Sengun, there's not 5 better centers in this league than Sengun, and especially a playmaking one next to Kevin Durant like that. I think this team is going to be really, really special.
And going from one Thompson twin to the other team I want to bring up is the Pistons, who made a really good run this year. They were a top 6-7 seed in the East, and they added players around their roster. They traded in for Duncan Robinson, sign and trade for 3 years, $45 for him. They do the same thing with Karis LeVert. They get him on a 2-year, $30-ish million contract. They bring back B-Ball Paul. They've got Jaden Ivey returning from injury. They've got a good team. They're a sneaky good team this year. I'm intrigued to see what they do and what they look like going forward, the Pistons, but I'm not mad at them. Of course, they have that weird, we don't know what the deal with Malik Beasley thing is. He's a free agent, but he played really well for them last year. He was their best three-point shooter ever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was an unbelievable three-point shooter.
I'm assuming Duncan Robinson's there to purely replace him now.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
It's shocking to me that Duncan Robinson keeps getting these contracts.
When you shoot the 3 ball as well as he does, you get the contract. The problem is he doesn't play defense because he's Duncan Robinson.
Lick of defense. Not a lick. But, obviously, the Pistons have the blueprint to be really good. They have the generational player. They have the good big man in Jalen Duren. They have Asar Thompson, unbelievable perimeter defender. They have the blueprint. It's just, will it click? And how big is the probable Malik Beasley exit? And how big is losing Tim Hardaway? Obviously, bringing Karis LeVert to kind of be the Tim Hardaway, but that's tough. Either one of those players could be better on any given day. So it's just kind of which one of those performs to see how that kind of goes.
And we will see going forward. And it's crazy. The NBA has been crazy this season. Sports news happens almost every single second of the day, and the best place to keep up with all of the different sports news and content and the latest clips of all of our shows is over on our social media platforms. Find us on Twitter at Sports7MM, the numeral 7, so Sports7MM on Twitter or X, and then on Facebook at 7 Mountains Sports. Keep up with the latest content, news, and things going on here with 7 Mountains Sports and all things 7 Mountains Media. That'll wrap up our time here. 7 Mountains Sports On Demand. Intern David making his debut, talking all the things NBA. Of course, we'll have you back on probably next week because Summer League kicks on off, and that'll be fun to see Bronny James get torched by Cooper Flagg, amongst other things going on Summer League Day 1, coming up this Friday, Saturday. So it's going to be a very fun-filled week next week. We'll see who else signs where. Could Giannis be on the move finally? I don't know. He keeps saying he's monitoring the Bucks. What does monitoring mean? Does it mean just following them on Twitter and seeing what they do?
Yeah, seriously. I'm monitoring 30 NBA teams right now.
We are, and the Wizards are not doing much.
No, I'm monitoring 29.
You're monitoring 29
You're
teams.
right, yeah.
You can always listen to 7 Mount Sports On Demand on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, and also make sure to find us 7 Mount Sports On Demand on the Radio Novo apps. You also can find us at 7 Mount Sports on Facebook, 7MM Sports on Instagram, Sports 7MM on Twitter, and 7MM Sports over on TikTok. We will see you back here next week for a little more 7 Mount Sports On Demand.